Hey there, I am Jo. I am a pregnancy and postnatal exercise specialist, as well as a maternity nurse and a mum of three. I am coming to you with my business hat on. I have developed a business called Energize Ladies Fitness because of my own experience with leaking pelvic floor problems after birth injuries. So I sidestepped my nursing career and I have retrained as an exercise specialist in pregnancy and postnatal with a special passion for pelvic floor function after I was left completely blindsided with my own birth injuries and pelvic floor function after my first baby. And that has persisted on, and I have worked on my own strategies and followed a lot of education that I have undertaken as well, and definitely have made big improvements with my pelvic floor function. So education has really helped, as well as consistency and determination to really make a difference so that I can live the life that I want to without my pelvic floor holding me back, essentially. So this week is World Continence Awareness Week. The Continence New Zealand organisation is running a WeChat, so I thought I would bring you my WeChat through this avenue. I am going to just give you a little bit of insight about your pelvic floor muscles, essentially what they are, where they are, what they do, and some contributing factors as to why you might be struggling with leaking or other pelvic floor symptoms, and some quick strategies so that you can be inspired, because one conversation just by watching this short video, learning about what might be going on for you and discovering that this is a really common symptom among lots of ladies, yet it is not a normal thing. So seeking help might just make the difference to you be able to do the things you really want to do, but you can't. So let's talk about your pelvic floor muscles. I have my trusty pelvic floor model here. So this is a model of a pelvis, okay? And the red parts are your pelvic floor muscles. So these muscles basically make up a hammock in the bottom of your pelvis to help hold your internal organs in, so your bladder, your uterus, and your bowel, and they help control those toileting functions. So they are supposed to hold onto the wheeze and only let go in the bathroom. Same with the poos, but sometimes we have accidents, and this is what continence means, or incontinence is leaking of wheeze or poos or wind when we're not supposed to. Okay, we're losing, we don't have that good control over those pelvic floor muscles holding those organs on and in when we want them to. Okay, so these muscles have outer layers and deeper internal layers. They attach to your pelvic bones, okay, from the sides and also front to back, right round to your tailbone at the back. They're attached to the back. Your pelvis is a mobile structure. We have swap pelvises. So you have a joint at the front as well as two joints at the back, which attach to your tailbone or your sacrum, and this pubic bone at the front. So your pelvis can move a little bit side to side and open in your tailbone. Oops. A little bit at the back as well, because you can see how that those pelvic floor muscles, if they're attached to that tailbone, can influence that function as well. So we want these muscles to work well, okay? Now I'm going to read off a little list of some contributing factors that may cause pelvic floor function in women. Okay, this is from our Continence New Zealand resources for our Continence Awareness Week. So obviously pregnancy, childbirth can cause problems with our pelvic floor. I know I was completely blindsided by it. I don't know if you were, but knowing how to recover well after birth is really important. But let's backtrack even more and actually prepare for an easier birth so that we don't end up with these nasty birth injuries or needing interventions during your labour and birth, so that you can heal a lot easier. Okay, so pregnancy, childbirth, and healing well. So things might be feeling fine, but don't jump straight back into things that might be detrimental to your pelvic floor. okay, if this is your stage in life. Constipation. So constipation, if we are really straining really hard to pass that poo, maybe every couple of days, that's not often enough, and you've got a really hard poo, then that's going to put a lot of downward pressure into these pelvic floor muscles. And you know that constant strain is going to push heaviness down into the pelvic floor muscles and may cause you changes to those pelvic floor muscles that might contribute to leaking, or other symptoms which I'm not going to touch on because I don't have time. I'm going to make this quite quick and to the point. Okay, medications. Some medications can make us a little bit overactive with our muscles. So if we are holding on, this muscle's going to get really tight. And I'm thinking pelvic floor muscles here. If these muscles are holding on, then they're going to be too tight. And when they really need to hold on, they're just tired and they just let go. Okay, it's a bit like if you do a bicep curl, so up like this, and we stay here, and eventually we just get tired. And when we actually really need to lift something, we've got no strength left to do that. Okay. Infections, urinary infections, if we're not emptying our bladder properly, that can also contribute to ongoing pelvic floor symptoms and leaking. Medical conditions that may affect your nervous system, again, affecting that contractility of those muscles, maybe too tight or maybe just not strong enough. Okay, diabetes, obesity, so you've got again a bit like the constipation, it's like that heaviness, or even like a pregnancy, it's like that heaviness down into your pelvis that's constantly straining on those muscles and stretching, a bit like a hair tie. If you use it over and over again, then it's going to strain. Okay, so exercise here can be fantastic in terms of keeping those muscles strong and effective. And then menopause, so change in hormones, because that changes the integrity of your tissues throughout your body, as we may or may not know, which is not fun either. Hey, okay, so we've done what your pelvic floor muscles are, where they are, what they do. Pelvic floor exercises. Okay, so we're talking about strengthening those muscles, but it's important that we have a good range of motion. So if we want to, I'm not really in the right position here, am I? We want to think about squeezing it like a claw machine at the time zone. Claw machine. So we're going to come down and squeeze in at the bottom and lift up. Okay, so saying reach, relax and lengthen, lift up. Almost like you're drawing in the front, the back and the sides like a diamond. Okay, we're drawing in the four corners of that diamond, lift it into the middle and lifting up like you are holding in a tampon and letting go. It's really important that we lift and let go. Lift and let go, or thinking holding in a wee, holding in wind and let go. Not completely let go, obviously, but these are the muscles. Find these muscles. Don't squeeze your glutes, don't squeeze your shoulders, don't squeeze anything else. You can even use your breath, because your diaphragm at the top of your belly, the bottom of your ribs, directly affects how your pelvic floor muscles work. So inhale, lengthen, pushes down into our pelvic floor. Exhale, pick up that wee or tampon. Okay, there's lots of different cues. These are your pelvic floor exercises. Now, pelvic floor exercises might need to look different for everybody. Some might need strengthening. Some might need more focus on relaxing, because we're halfway on tight and tense all the time, and a lot of contributing factors to that. So sometimes it's best to talk to a professional to figure out, and ideally a pelvic health physio, because they can do actual physical internal assessments of these pelvic floor muscles, a vaginal exam, so that they can feel that tone of those muscles and where you might feel that you need, and they can tell you if your pelvic floor exercises actually need to be a strengthening exercise, repetitive over and over again strengthening, or if it needs to be, let's focus on that release and lengthen, so that we're not constantly halfway tight on and fatigue and don't do the right thing. Okay. And then things like holding tension in your upper body can make that pressure at the top of your core always pressing down into your pelvis and your pelvic floor muscles, that can also be a downwards pressure. So pressure management around the entire core system. Your core is a little bit like I'm going to cut my head off for a second. Your core is a bit like a balloon. It needs to function as a whole. So we have a diaphragm at the top, our pelvic floor muscles at the bottom, our core muscles that wrap around, and your back muscles. So this whole system, when we put pressure on one side, the other side responds a bit like a balloon or a ball. Okay, so there's lots of contributing factors. The way I support ladies, and what I have had the most success from, because I've tried many things, has been exercise to recover my body well after pregnancy or during pregnancy, prep for birth, second and third birth, and then recover well afterwards through full body training. So making sure I'm not holding tension in my upper body. So lots of unwinding of pregnancy postures, new mummy postures, feeding postures, and all of that thing, so that our alignment is ideal, so that we're not pushing down. And then strengthening, building that mind-muscle connection from my mind to my pelvic floor muscles, because the stretch and the strain from that birth, those births or the birth injuries, may have affected the nerves and the function and the coordination of that whole pelvic floor system. So lots to do with it. And then strengthening my body so that it can absorb the impact and the strain, so that my pelvic floor muscles are not always having to be the supporting structure at the bottom of my core. My glutes and my legs and my back is all working together optimally again. Okay, so I have built some online programs so that ladies can access this information from anywhere at an affordable rate, okay, and at an achievable pace, so that you can work on your exercises at home. You can learn and keep progressing and working on your exercises from home, so that you can get back to doing the things you want to do and you love, and even your everyday tasks without your pelvic floor holding you back. Because I know I've been there, it's not fun, and it really gets you down. It really changes your life if you are not having that confidence to be able to go out and do the things you want to do, run, play, jump with the kids, do your own exercise, do the job that you need to do to make money, all those things. So if you are wanting to learn more about these strategies and wanting to improve your pelvic floor function, you're having struggles with leaking at any stage of your life, or other pelvic floor symptoms, then I will drop my online programs in the bottom link here, so that you can get started from the comfort and the privacy of your own home, and reap the benefits, really re-energize your life so that you can live the life to its full potential.